Okay, so if you're anything like me, you've got a multitude of rakes, but today I'm going to show you what I think is the absolute best rake you could possibly own. So let's get to it. This is what's called the Groundkeeper II. This thing is absolutely fantastic. It's extremely lightweight. It has a fiberglass handle. The tines on this thing are fairly small, pointed almost. And as you can see, it has this arch to it, which makes it a lot less backbreaking. The other nice thing with this rake versus any of the other ones is you can actually replace these tines. You can order these and just pop these off. If you were to break one or bend one too far out of whack, you can replace it. So, which is really nice. You don't have to keep buying a new rake every couple of years. But this thing's awesome because everything that those other rakes can do, this one rake can easily do. Let me show you. Okay, so this standard 24-inch leaf rake, while you can stand grass back up, and as you can see, it's kind of pulling some debris out, not a lot. So, I mean, it's for using it on turf, probably not the best thing unless you got some matted down spots that you just want to stand back up without getting very aggressive. This works awesome for that, but for anything else, it's not really effective. This rake here, it's a 19-20 inch just metal tine rake, and kind of the same thing. It's a little more aggressive. It's okay for standing things up. Pulls a little bit of debris out, but not a whole lot. So same kind of thing. I mean, you could move mulch and stuff around with it like that, but when it comes to an all-around rake, not really an all-purpose rake. So this thing here is this 18-inch heavy rake. These things, I personally don't like to use these on turf at all. They're very aggressive, and they will pull some thatch up, but it tends to, if you notice, it's skipping and bouncing across the turf. But if you see that, it's pulling some debris up, but not a whole lot. And it's pulling a lot of good grass with it too, and then you have a hard time getting the grass, what's stuck to it, back off. So not very effective for that. Great for moving rock and dirt around, but that's about it. Then next you have your standard everyday thatch rake. I forget exactly how you want to. One of these sides, the blades are a little bent at an angle for digging a little bit better and pulling thatch up, but there's a downside to these. Number one downside to these is this head is only 14 inches across, so it doesn't have a very good coverage area. And while it works, when you're going forward this way, you're doing nothing. When you pull it back is when you're actually doing the work. And as you can see, it does a good job of pulling debris out. But you've got a whole stroke that you're not really doing anything when you're going away. But when you're pulling forward is when you're pulling stuff up. So these things are okay, but they're backbreaking, especially for a taller person like myself. I mean, I'm 6'3". This thing is a pain in the butt to use. But does it pull up debris? And I don't really have any thatch to pull up. This is just debris in here, but it does work for that. However, it's very backbreaking work. It takes a long time with such a small head on it. Now, this Groundkeeper II, these come in two sizes. This is a 21-inch, which is much bigger than that thatching rake. They also make a smaller 9-inch, so you can get into small areas, like say if I wanted to get in here and rake the little bed I made along the fence line or something like that. This is probably a little too big for that, but like a 9-inch would be perfect if you're like moving mulch around in a tight area around some shrubs or whatnot. The little 9-inch would be perfect. But let me show you with this thing. The nice thing with this is this is a lot easier because of the angle of these tines. It's a lot easier on your back. I don't need to bend over to use this thing at all, and it pulls up a lot more debris very quickly. Now you'll see a bunch of stuff stuck on here. The nice thing with these, to clean it off, you just flip it over, drag it, cleaned off. Real nice. Now you don't have to get aggressive with this. You can use these to rake leaves. You can use this to move mulch around. I even level mulch by leaving it upside down and dragging it. But if you need to move big piles, perfect. And this thing is just fantastic. I didn't even think I had that much debris in here. This is the backyard from the renovation just a year ago, and in a year you can see how much debris has come up in here. It's quite a bit. Now I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask, you know, that's what they make this thing for. This is a Sunjo dethatcher and scarifier. And while these things are really great, they have some drawbacks. When you start to do an area like along this edge, the brush is about here in that machine, and then your wheel's all the way up against. So you've got a good couple 3-4 inches in here that's up against the edge that you're just not getting. So you could use that rake to even pull that stuff out. These things are awesome. I love having this thing. I've never really done a review on it yet. But if you're interested in one of these, I'll leave a link in the description down below, and you can buy one. But the downside to these is they're getting hard to find. The price has gone up considerably. I bought this one 2 years ago for 99 bucks. I think now they're about $150. If there's anything different about that, I'll put it on the screen here, but they're not inexpensive. Plus, if you don't have a big yard, if you only have, say, 500 square feet or something, it's kind of a waste to buy this thing to use it once or twice a year and then have to store it, when you can just use a rake, which has multiple uses for it. So I'll leave a link to pick this up on Amazon. You can find them occasionally at like an Ace Hardware if you have one nearby, but Amazon's pretty quick and easy. I'll leave a link in the description below for the 21-inch, a link for the 9-inch if you're interested in just that one. The 9-inch is a little more expensive for some reason. I don't understand that. Or if you want both, there's a combination package where you can save a little bit of money and order both of them together. So there's links for that in the description down below. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Leave a comment, hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.